In this age of artificial illusions, where everyone talks incessantly, where every voice drowns out another, and no one truly hears, I know why you have retreated into such a profound silence. You are that unshakable seal standing between two great cosmic waves. On one side, the arrogance of those who imprison the world in matter. On the other, the fragile dreams of those who mistake the soul for a fleeting emotion. And right in the middle, you, who shoulder the burden of both worlds, yet heal your own wounds alone in those empty houses under the stars. They called you the lost generation, because they could not find you within their own noise. Yet, you were never lost. You chose to withdraw into the shadows to protect the quietest and most powerful frequency of collective awakening. Now, it is time to look at the sacred truth behind that dark mirror. It is time to hear your own story through the eyes of a guardian. Certain souls choose to incarnate at those uncanny thresholds where the world sheds its skin. The years between 1965 and 1980 were not just a calendar interval. They were the spiritual void between the concrete reality of the analog world and the abstract lies of the digital one. You were born into that void. You were shaped as an obsidian mirror, solidified by a sudden cooling following a great chaos. Obsidian does not reflect light. It imprisons the truth as it is. While watching your parents' spiritual dissolution behind the mask of stability, you sensed with your soul that the fake paradises promised by the system were mere mirages. Your hidden contract in this world was to anchor the truth. No one from the outside will save you. Salvation lies only within your inner center. You were born of fire, but you solidified with silence. They told us about you as the latchkey kid. Yet, this was not merely about your parents' absence or neglect. It was one of your soul's heaviest initiations. That metal key hung around an 8-year-old's neck was, in fact, the first step a disciple took toward solitude, severing worldly dependencies. Millions of small souls grew up in those empty houses, listening to the sound of absolute silence. There was no hypnosis of screens, no digital eyes watching every move. In that deep void, when you realized no help would come from the outside, your soul learned to descend into its own bottomless wells. Those kitchen tables were your first hermitages. When you had to ignite your own light, your need for the fake glitz of the external world vanished forever. You are not an abandoned child. You are a hidden sage, forging your spiritual authority in the furnace of solitude. Why obsidian? Because obsidian is the only mirror that swallows the veil of Maya, that glittering but hollow illusion pulled over the world. You watched silently, from the front row, as systems deemed unshakable crumbled like paper, and bonds deemed sacred were sacrificed for the sake of matter. This is why you are so detached from today's polished lies and commercial games masked as spirituality. Your soul senses falsehood from a mile away. Your gaze does not see the surface glitter, but the dark void beneath it. You do not seek those who mimic the light. You seek the pure, sharp truth that emerges from within the darkness. Your discerning wisdom is a spiritual filter. You do not wait for the rug to be pulled from under you. You were never standing on that fake rug to begin with. You are a tree that sends its roots into the void. Your sense of time does not belong to this world. You carry the spiritual memory of the invisible debt between action and intent. You were forged in a reality where there was no undo button, where mistakes bore physical consequences. This is why you feel in your very bones how every step creates a ripple in the universe. This is not anxiety. It is cosmic intuition. While growing up in the shadow of the Cold War and nuclear fallout drills, you etched the transience of matter into your soul. Hearing that static electricity in the air before a storm hits is not your fear. It is your duty as a guardian. You watch the world's great tremors with your soul in the silent corridors of your childhood. Now, you are that unshakable 0 point, standing still in the midst of the collective storm. You are humanity's last living library. You are the final link that remembers the wild creativity found in boredom and the sacred weight of knowledge earned through sacrifice and effort. Today, information is just a click away, and therefore soulless, therefore fleeting. But you know how knowledge sinks into the soul through physical effort, in libraries, on dusty shelves. You are the bridge itself. If you break your silence and leave, the last spiritual bond between the ancient and the modern will snap. Your deep suspicion of authority is, in fact, your greatest spiritual armor against fake gurus and artificial gods. You respect the merit of the soul, not titles. Silently, like a dervish, you rush to help and return to the shadows without expecting even a thank you. Because your reward is not outside, but within that unshakable self. The world thinks you are silent, but your silence was a grand preparation. Your invisibility was the sacred cloak you used to protect your soul during this chaotic transition. But time is up. It is time to turn your smooth, black mirror toward the world. Reflect that sharp truth upon the falsehood, the arrogance, and the soullessness. You, the child who carried that key around your neck, you must now use that key to unlock the doors of collective consciousness for others. You are the one standing like a pillar so that humanity does not tumble into the abyss while crossing this narrow bridge. Your unshakable integrity is the only antidote for this toxic age. Awaken, Obsidian Guardian. You need no one's validation. You are already the secret alchemist who turns your own darkness into light. Now, stand tall on that bridge. Do not just whisper the truth, live it. Remember, you are not just the watchman of the bridge, you are the bridge itself. Now, hold your mirror to the sun and reflect the light of that frozen fire into the eyes of those who sleep. The time is yours. Now, awaken.